Environmental storytelling in video games is important. It allows developers to create worlds that not only feel lived in, but are also grounded in the game's own fiction. It allows the game to tell a deep and intricate story without shoving it down the throats of the player base. So players that want to experience the story can do so by exploring the world and finding out what it has to offer. And players that don't, well, they can just skip all that and get to the good parts. Historically, 2D platformers offer very little to the player in terms of story or context. Story-wise, it's, hey, Bowser kidnapped Princess Peach again, better go save her. And context-wise, it's, oh, this is a desert world, so all levels must have sand. And for years, this was the standard. That is, until Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze came along and completely changed the game up. Every one of Tropical Freeze's 6 main worlds tells a story. And while these stories may not be winning an Oscar anytime soon, it's the way they are told effortlessly without a single line of dialogue that makes them special. None more so than the tale of the polar bear and the popsicle. So, let's hop into World 5-1 so I can break down this absolute masterclass storytelling that occurs in this world. The first level in Juicy Jungle is Harvest Hazard, and true to its name, it's got harvesting, and it's got hazards. The first thing you'll notice as you load into the level is these spiky fruits being dropped into these carts. You'll have to use these carts to platform across the gap, while you dodge the spiky fruits falling from above. As you continue on into the level, this concept is expanded upon, as you're required to dodge the claws that pick fruits, bounce on fruits being sorted into carts, and maneuver tilting carts on rails. Everything in this level fits the harvesting theme perfectly, from the platforms you jump on to the obstacles you have to avoid. The game makes it very clear that these fruits are being picked for something, but the question is, for what? Well, in the next level, Reckless Ride, it becomes increasingly clear as you rocket through the level that those diabolical penguins have been turning all that fruit into juice. What could those penguins be doing with all that juice? Who knows? All you know is that you have a date with destiny with this little penguin bitch in his wooden Met suit. As you progress through the level, this fuckboy will be attacking you every chance he gets, by swinging his sharp claws, knocking over obstacles, and shooting kamikaze penguins out of his chest. There are also other obstacles like blades or rolling fruits, but this penguin is the star of the show. At the end of the level, he crashes into this stone bridge and is forced to eject to safety. Oops. In the next level, Fruity Factory, you get to see exactly how all that fruit was turned into that sweet purple juice, as you take a tour through a giant fruit processing plant. And on your tour, you'll see conveyor belts, giant chopping blades, studded paddles, all the things you'd see in a regular factory. One of my favorites is the juicer that comes down and drills into the fruit. It acts as a fun obstacle to avoid while being contextually relevant to the level. It also explains where this other obstacle in another level came from. These levels are all connected and I love it. As you continue on with your tour, you'll come across these cutting blades that will spit up sliced pieces of fruits that you'll have to use as platforms to make it safely across. This all culminates in a final section where DK is dropped into a barrel of rising fruit juice with blades at the bottom. As the juice rises, you are required to jump from fruit piece to fruit piece to avoid the blades. This section is a great test of what you've learned earlier in the level, while also being a very tense finale. So, let's recap the story real quick. We know the penguins are harvesting fruits, we know they are turning it into juice, and we know how they are doing it. But, what could they possibly need all this juice for? Well, as you continue on into Juicy Jungle, it becomes more and more clear what the answer to that question is. And let me tell you, when I finally found out, it shook me to my very core. But we won't find the answer in the next levels, Panicky Paddles or Jelly Jamboree. They are both great levels in their own right, but they don't really move the story forward, so we're gonna skip over them for now. All you need to know is in Jelly Jamboree, they turn that juice into bouncing blobs of jelly. And immediately as you enter level 5-6, Frosty Fruits, you see what has become of those bouncy blots of jelly. They have been completely frozen solid. And now, instead of helping you like they did in Jelly Jamboree, these frozen blots of jelly act as obstacles falling from the roof and threatening to crush you. As you continue on into the level, an unsettling feeling creeps over you. Why are they freezing all of this jelly? What could this all be for? And as you slide under the spikes, the answer slowly comes into view. Fucking popsicles. And these popsicles have one purpose, which becomes evident as you reach the level Punch Bowl. When you enter the level, you see a polar bear laying down enjoying a frozen treat. That looks vaguely familiar. It kind of actually looks like the popsicles from Frosty Fruits. That's because it is! So the culmination of this entire journey that started with fruits being picked in Harvest Hazard, then crushed into juice in Fruity Factory, then transported through the river system into Reckless Ride, to eventually be turned into jelly in Jelly Jamboree, then finally frozen into frozen treats and Frosty Fruits, has all been for this one reason: to make popsicles for this fat bitch. Like I said, these stories aren't going to be winning Oscars anytime soon, but the fact that Tropical Freeze is able to tell these simple tales through level design alone is incredible. Every level in Juicy Jungle has a purpose, and every obstacle within those levels is contextually relevant to that purpose. Tropical Freeze completely set the standard on what a modern platformer should be, and Juicy Jungle led the fucking way. Hit it with an S, baby.